You actually might be able to kick us off, start us off.
You've been practicing the 6-6-6 drill?
We have. It's a good question, Ollie. Clearly, it's something we got wrong last weekend. And clearly, we've got to own that. We didn't communicate to the level, we didn't get organised, and we paid the price. And clearly, we've got some clarification from the AFL around what that looks like, especially on the reset of the 6-6-6. And we'll own it, get better at it, and make sure it never happens again.
How have you reviewed the last 2 minutes, Goodwin?
The last
2 minutes of that game, the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, just the process behind leading to back-to-back goals and sort of ultimately the match.
Yeah, look, we reviewed the whole last quarter. Clearly, it was unacceptable, and if you look around, if you looked into the rooms after the game, the devastation from the players, and I can only imagine from our supporters and everyone involved was there. We knew it was unacceptable. We reviewed it, and there was things in the last 4 minutes that we really liked in the game. Clearly, the 6-6-6 wasn't what we liked, but the process leading up to that, we had 8 goals kicked against us in the lead up to that with 4 minutes to go. The game's tight, so we let a huge margin slip, and we know that's unacceptable, and we own that together.
You did so much right. I mean, it's probably remiss to just highlight 4 minutes when for 120 minutes you're up by 46 points. So you feel like you can take something out of that, or is all the focus on ultimately the loss of 4 points?
I think the focus needs to be on the loss of 4 points, but clearly, I think everyone saw for 3 quarters that we're becoming a highly competitive team, and there were things on the weekend that you could see enormous growth in. But at the same time, we've got to develop this mindset around how we continue to improve and get better, and that's what we're trying to create. We've got to be clear about what we're trying to create because we're in a hurry to get better, and ultimately, you want to start turning highly competitive performances, strong performances, into strong results, and that's what we're here to do.
So when you reviewed that last quarter, get some feedback from the players on what was going wrong out there?
Yeah, look, we spoke about, we reviewed it really a lot around what we're thinking, what we're feeling, when we're in those type of positions, especially at 3/4 time initially, because that's where you want to keep going to bridge the gap on some of the inconsistencies. And we knew we were going to have inconsistencies through this period as we're implementing change. But to really narrow those inconsistencies, you need to have a really strong mindset about what it takes all the time. And you can't let scoreboard get involved. And clearly at 3/4 time, there was a shift in the game. And that little bit of complacency turned into a nervousness as the game went on, and a little bit of panic set in. And that was clear for everyone to see. So our challenge is to make sure we use that moment as a defining moment for our team and our club to take that next step. And that's what the message has been. And the players reviewed it strongly. They're really keen on making sure they came out really committed to that. And clearly, communication in those situations is really important.
So on the leaders, I mean, you're 4 years removed from a flag with arguably the similar core or same core. Is it on the leaders then to make sure panic doesn't set in?
Yeah, look, it's a different core though. It's a different age bracket of core. And we're a different team to what we were. We're a new team. And it's on everyone. It's not just on our leaders, it's on everyone to be in a position to be able to communicate to a level and have a mindset around playing the contest, that every moment matters, every contest matters, irrespective of the scoreboard. And that's the type of approach that we need to develop. Otherwise, we'll keep having inconsistencies. And sometimes, when you have moments like you had on the weekend in last quarters, it exposes things quicker, so you can do something about it quicker. And in some ways, this could be a moment that we look back on as being incredibly helpful for where we want to go.
That panic you've described, is there a concern that stems from a lack of trust between players or a lack of trust between players and the coaching staff?
No, not at all. No, they trust each other, they trust the process, but clearly on the weekend they got it wrong. And I've been in this position before. In 2018, we played a game down in Geelong. We were up by 30 points. Geelong kicked 8 goals in the last quarter. Zach Tui took a mark and kicked a goal after the siren to win a game. These things happen in footy, and they happen for a reason. But what it can do, as hard as it is and as brutal as it is on everyone, the players, the staff, the supporters, it can help you grow. And it did then, and it will this time.
There was one man who took the game
game away Naz. Obviously, what was done in the coach's box to really limit his impact, specifically in that last quarter?
Yeah, look, in the last quarter we put Ed Langdon to him. Clearly for the first 2.5, 3 quarters, we wanted to get the game looking the way we wanted to get it looking, and Naz still had influence through the first 3 quarters. But we had the game in control. You know, we were up, we were playing pretty strong footy. There was no need to go to him at that point. Halfway through the last quarter, a little bit earlier than that, there was a need to go to him. We put Ed Langdon to him, but sometimes when you've got a talent like Naz, you know, he played an exceptional game. That exceptional last 5-10 minutes, and that mark he took was, you know, you've got to tip your lid to him. It was pretty special.
Reports on Monday of a presentation to board. What was the key message from your part in that?
Oh, it's just a standard board meeting around, you know, the strategy, where we're at, what we're trying to achieve, and you know, we're all very aligned about the process of where we need to go to and what we need to create success. And we always knew that in this period of transition that there would be challenge. Our job's not to get consumed with the noise. Our job's to go about the process to create success.
Do you get feedback from the board?
No, look, you know, as I said, these conversations are ongoing. And we're really clear about the strategy. I feel incredibly supported by the board. I have for 9 years. And we've been able to go through these challenges before with clarity and strength and stability to create success. You know, in 2019, we finished second last, and 2 years later, we won the flag. So you can't get consumed in noise. All you can do is be really clear about your strategy, clear about your process, understand challenge, be clear about it, and go about the process to build the next great team. And that's what we're going about, and I feel incredibly supported by the board.
So what was the clarification from the AFL about the rule? Was that, I think I heard Chris Scott say that he didn't even quite know what was meant to happen. Was that what you can actually do when there's a reset, about which players can go where?
Yeah, pretty much who can go where on a reset. Clearly they've got to reset the field. That was the first thing. The ruckman has to stand the mark, and the players on the inside can pretty much go wherever they need to, but you need to get the field completely reset, and the ruckman needs to stand the mark. So there's a bit of technicality in it. I think every club has probably taken note of it, yeah, because it's a situation that you don't want to be involved in.
Simon, there was a letter to the members from Brad that came out after the game, and he sort of spoke about the disappointment, the inconsistencies in the way the season had gone. Do you think in this transition and reset, have you taken a step further back than perhaps you thought you would? Is that why that messaging comes from Brad?
Oh, I think so. I think, you know, our fans and our supporters and our players, they're hurting because of the results. But if you purely look at results, you probably get confused or you get consumed in the wrong things. Because if you look a little bit deeper into some of the transition that's taking place, there's a lot of positives going on as well. But we all get consumed in results. And I'm sure our fans do and our supporters do. And our job is to coach the process and coach the strategy and know that the results will come. And we're really clear and really confident about the build, about where we're going with that. And those results will turn, and our members and our supporters will start putting smiles on their face.
What do you want from the last month, Simon?
We want to keep building. We want to keep coaching to create success. We've got a great opportunity this week against West Coast, and that's all I'm focused on as coach, is to go about our plan and to create a game that we can be really proud of and continue to turn those 3 quarters from last week into 4 quarters of really strong, consistent, brutal football.
I think some commentary earlier in the week that the slip up against West Coast this weekend could be costly for your team. Can you share that impression that there is a lot riding on the result this weekend?
That would be me getting consumed with noise, and that's not what I'm about. That's not what we're about. We're about a consistency about what's going to create success. We get another opportunity against the football club this week to show, not talk, show what we're about, and that's the focus this week.
There's a hoax threat on Sunday night. How do you reflect on that? Did you hear about that? And,
yeah, look, clearly you hear about it. Your family hears about it, that's for sure. You know, and that's in the hands of the AFL and the police. Clearly we don't want to see that in our game, but I don't want to make that the focus of today. I want to make the focus of today about our footy club and about what we need to do.
So the Victorian Police are looking more into it, Simon?
Oh, they have been, yeah, and I think that's under control. So there's no issues from my end. Thanks, guys.